The moment that scholarship rejection letter arrived, my dreams of college seemed to crumble into dust. The kids who'd bullied me for years laughed, saying I'd never escape our small town. Their words stung like salt in a wound, but I didn't let them break me. Instead, I built a library right where they used to taunt me that changed everything. Want to know how I turned pain into a legacy that left them speechless? Stick around, because this revenge story will leave you inspired. My name is Chloe. I'm 20, and I live in a small town in Ohio. I'm a student with a heart full of dreams, and today, I'm sharing a story that still makes my pulse race. A tale of rejection, bullying, and rising above it all to create something extraordinary. If you've ever been told you're not good enough, or felt the sting of being underestimated, this story is for you. It's my real-life journey, and I hope it hits home. So grab a coffee, hit that like button if you believe in proving doubters wrong, subscribe for more stories that tug at your heart, and let's get started. This is how I turned pain into power. In the quiet town of Willow Creek, Ohio, where cornfields stretched farther than ambition, I grew up with dreams too big for the town's narrow streets. At 18, a senior at Willow Creek High, I poured my heart into books and stories, my nose always buried in a novel or my pen scratching out ideas in a worn notebook. My parents, factory workers with calloused hands and unwavering faith, believed I could be more than our town's limits allowed. They'd sit at our chipped kitchen table, their eyes tired but proud, urging me to aim for college, to become a writer or teacher. Willow Creek High was a different story. I was the shy kid, the bookworm in thrift store sweaters and thick glasses, more comfortable in the library than the cafeteria. I wasn't popular, but I had a spark. Dreams of studying literature at Ohio State, of escaping the town's gossip and small-mindedness. My sanctuary was the school library, its musty shelves and creaking chairs a refuge where I could lose myself in stories of courage and possibility. But not everyone saw me that way. A group of popular kids, led by Tyler, the quarterback with a sharp grin, and Becca, his cheerleader girlfriend with a sharper tongue, had targeted me since middle school. They mocked my clothes, my quiet nature, my dreams of leaving Willow Creek. Their taunts followed me through the halls, their laughter a constant hum that made my stomach knot and my shoulders hunch. I'd walk home under the weight of their words, the gravel crunching under my sneakers, telling myself I was stronger than their cruelty. Internal monologue, their voices echoed in my head, telling me I'd never be more than a small-town nobody. But every time I opened a book, I felt a fire inside, a belief that I could prove them wrong. Senior year, I poured everything into my scholarship application for Ohio State. Night after night, I sat at my desk, the lamp's buzz filling the silence, my fingers aching as I typed essays about how books had shaped me, how they'd given me hope in a town that felt like a cage. The application was my lifeline, my chance to escape Willow Creek and build a future. When I mailed it, my heart was light with hope, my breath catching as I imagined a new life. The rejection letter arrived on a rainy April afternoon. I stood in our cramped kitchen, the linoleum cold under my feet, the paper trembling in my hands. The words, "We regret to inform you," blurred as tears stung my eyes. My chest tightened, my breath shallow, as if the air had been sucked from the room. All those late nights, all those dreams, felt like ash in my mouth. I sank to the floor, the rain pattering against the window, my hopes drowning in the sound. Internal monologue. It wasn't just a rejection. It was the world telling me I wasn't enough. My dreams were slipping away, and all I could hear was Tyler's voice in my head. "You'll be stuck here forever." Word spread like wildfire in Willow Creek. By the next day, Tyler, Becca, and their clique knew. They cornered me in the school parking lot, their sneakers scuffing the asphalt, their laughter sharp and cold. They taunted me, their words slicing through the spring air, saying I'd never amount to anything, that I'd end up working at the gas station like my dad. My face burned, my hands clenched into fists, the gravel biting into my palms as I gripped my backpack. I ran home, the rain soaking my hair, their laughter chasing me like a storm. Tyler and Becca's cruelty didn't stop at the parking lot. They owned the school social scene, their confidence fueled by the cheers of classmates and the adoration of teachers who saw them as Willow Creek's golden kids. In the halls, they'd mock my rejection, their voices loud enough for others to hear, calling me scholarship girl with fake pity that stung worse than insults. At lunch, they'd nudge my tray, sending my food to the floor, the cafeteria's fluorescent lights glinting off the spilled juice. Their friends joined in, whispering rumors that I begged for the scholarship, that I was delusional for thinking I could leave. The school became a maze of humiliation. I'd walk with my head down, the linoleum squeak under my sneakers, a constant reminder of my visibility. Even neutral classmates started avoiding me, their eyes darting away, as if my failure was contagious. Teachers offered sympathetic smiles, their pity a weight I couldn't shake. My best friend Sarah tried to lift my spirits, but the taunts were relentless, a chorus that followed me home, where I'd curl up in my room, the moonlight spilling through the window, my rejection letter crumpled on my desk. Internal monologue. Every taunt was a stone, piling up until I felt buried. I'd stare at my ceiling, my heart pounding, wondering if they were right. Was I just a fool with big dreams? But deep down, I knew I wasn't. The rejection and bullying carved a hollow in my chest. I stopped eating lunch in the cafeteria, hiding in the library instead, the smell of old books a faint comfort. My hands would shake as I turned pages, my mind replaying the parking lot, the laughter, the way my sweater clung to my sweaty skin. I started doubting myself, wondering if I'd misjudged my own worth. My mom's worried voice echoed through the house, asking why I was so quiet, but I couldn't tell her. The shame was too heavy, like a backpack full of bricks. I'd stand in front of my mirror, my eyes red from crying, staring at a vision board I'd made. College logos, quotes from books, dreams of a bigger life. My parents had sacrificed everything for me, working double shifts to pay for my school supplies. Their belief in me was a lifeline, but it also made the rejection hurt more. I felt like I'd failed them, failed myself. Their voices kept me awake at night. Tyler's smirk, Becca's sneer, telling me I'd never be enough. But I couldn't let them win. I had to do something, not just for me, but for everyone they'd ever hurt. One night, alone in my room, I flipped through my notebook, its pages filled with stories I'd written to escape Willow Creek's smallness. I stopped on a quote I'd jotted down. "Build something where you stand." It hit me like a spark. I didn't need a scholarship to prove my worth. I could build something here, in Willow Creek, something that would outshine Tyler and Becca's cruelty, something that would last. I decided to create a library, a place where kids like me could study, dream, and believe in something bigger. It wouldn't just be a building. It would be a statement, a way to turn my pain into purpose. I'd show Tyler, Becca, and the whole town that I wasn't stuck, that I could change the world right where I stood. Internal monologue. This wasn't about proving them wrong. It was about proving me right. I wasn't the nerd they mocked. I was a builder, a dreamer, and I'd make them see it. I threw myself into the idea, my heart racing with purpose. I started a crowdfunding campaign, not for myself, but for Willow Creek, I called it the Willow Creek Dream Library, a place where kids could find books, computers, and hope. I spent nights at my desk, the keyboard's clatter filling the silence, crafting a campaign page that poured out my story. Not the bullying, but the dream of a place where no one would feel small. I reached out to everyone I knew, neighbors, teachers, local businesses, my voice shaky but determined as I pitched the idea. My hands trembled as I posted the campaign online, my stomach knotting with fear that no one would care. But they did. Donations trickled in. $1 from a classmate, 20 from a teacher, 100 from a stranger who saw my post on social media. The numbers grew, my phone buzzing with notifications, each one a spark of hope. Internal monologue. Every donation was a brick in the foundation I was building. I'd imagine Tyler and Becca's faces, their laughter fading, as my dream took shape. It fueled me, kept me up past midnight, planning. I worked with the town council, my sneakers scuffing the town hall's worn floors to secure a plot of land, an empty lot near the school, the very spot where Tyler's clique used to hang out, smoking and mocking passersby. I spent months organizing fundraisers, my hands sticky with poster glue, my voice hoarse from speeches at community events. The air smelled of coffee and determination as I rallied volunteers, their chatter mixing with the hum of possibility. The campaign grew beyond Willow Creek. A local news story went viral, and donations poured in from across the state. People moved by the idea of a girl turning rejection into hope. My heart swelled with every pledge, my fingers aching from writing thank you notes. I hired a small team of volunteers, their energy matching mine, as we planned the library's design, a modern space with big windows, cozy reading nooks, and shelves that would hold thousands of books. Short sentences for tension. The lot was cleared. Construction began. Walls rose. My dream was real. The night before the groundbreaking, I stood on the empty lot, the grass damp under my sneakers, the air sharp with the scent of earth and spring. The stars glittered above, the town quiet except for the distant hum of a passing car. My heart pounded, not with fear, but with purpose. This was my answer to every taunt, every rejection, a legacy that would outlast their cruelty. I gripped a shovel, my hands steady, and imagined the library rising, a beacon where their laughter once stood. The library's opening day arrived, a crisp autumn morning that smelled of fallen leaves and fresh paint. The building stood tall, its glass windows gleaming under the sun, shelves lined with books that promised new worlds. The town gathered, neighbors, teachers, kids, even strangers who donated online. My heart raced as I held the ribbon, my hands trembling with a mix of nerves and pride. Tyler, Becca, and their clique showed up, drawn by the buzz, their faces a mix of curiosity and unease. They stood at the edge of the crowd, their usual swagger muted, their eyes fixed on the library, the very spot where they'd taunted me. I stepped to the podium, my breath catching, my voice steady but electric. I spoke about dreams, about hope, about building something for everyone who'd ever felt small. The crowd cheered, their applause a wave that drowned out the memory of laughter. Internal monologue. My chest felt light, like I could finally breathe. This wasn't just a library, it was my triumph. I'd turned their cruelty into something beautiful, something that would outlast us all. The ribbon fell, the doors opened, and kids rushed in, their laughter echoing off the walls. I watched Tyler and Becca, their faces pale, their eyes avoiding mine. They didn't speak, didn't mock, just stood there, silent, as the town celebrated what I built. The local paper called it a monument to resilience, and schools booked tours. Kids already curling up in the reading nooks with books in their hands. My rejection didn't define me. The library did. It stood where their cruelty once reigned, a testament to what I could do. I didn't need to gloat. My legacy spoke louder than their taunts ever could. Looking back, I don't regret a single moment. Tyler and Becca thought they could break me, but they underestimated me. I wasn't just the bookworm they mocked. I was a dreamer, a builder, a force. This wasn't about revenge for revenge's sake. It was about turning pain into purpose, proving I was enough, not just to them, but to myself. Karma doesn't always need a fight. Sometimes it's a quiet victory, a library built, a community lifted, a dream made real. If my story teaches you anything, it's this. Don't let anyone tell you you're not enough. Build something where you stand and let it shine brighter than their doubts. Wow, what a journey, right? If this story gave you chills or made you cheer, smash that like button and drop a comment. What's the most inspiring comeback you've ever seen? Or maybe you've got your own story of turning pain into something amazing. Spill it. Subscribe and hit that bell for more real-life stories that'll keep you hooked. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay unstoppable.